All right. Hopefully the audio's working on this. I'm going to kind of give it a second. I want to listen to myself on this thing. So you guys might hear stuff. I'm going to actually mute. All right, my audio sounds great on that. And let me go over to this tab. Bearded Works is in. Thank you, Jake, on that. And I'm going to look over on Facebook on that. I'm assuming Facebook works too. I don't know. I can't look at the comments on Facebook as easily. I have to go look at my computer. I had this device that allows me to look at comments, but only on the YouTube because it's not working with my Facebook. But anyway, let's go down. Let's go over to this view. This is the top-down view here at Docfire Paintball. Actually, hold on. I got a lot of things to kind of delve out here. Before I get going, I just want to give a shout out to Sac Paintball in Sacramento, California. They are it's actually 3 companies. They're all owned by the same people, Junior Brown, and I think his wife's name's Gina. They own Extreme Paintball out of Modesto, BlackFridayPaintball.com, and Sac Paintball in Sacramento, California. So the Extreme Paintball out of Modesto. So if you're in the Modesto area, down in that area, the Central Valley, definitely hit them up. And then Sac Paintball is in Sacramento. It's off, well, just look them up on Google Maps. Pretty easy. It pops right up. It's in the southern end of Sacramento, near Highway 50. And Highway 50 and Highway 16 or Jackson Highway. Pretty close to Capitol Edge. I think it really kind of services the Capitol Edge people there. But anyway, they are the store that provides paint for my shooting videos and testing. So this is a collaboration between GI Sports, and so I'll be shooting GI and probably be shooting a lot of the Dynasty paint. So we'll see on that. But I just got off the phone with Junior Brown today to kind of submit the final details of the deal. And we'll be getting logos and stuff like that. So if I'm shooting their paint or doing anything for them, I will promote their store. And if you want to shoot GI paint, you're in Sacramento, you're in the Central Valley of California, get it from Extreme, Black Friday Paintball, or Sac Paintball. So that is my... hey, thanks, Gabriel Diaz. I appreciate it. So that is my shtick on that, because I kind of want to get that going. But what do I have in front of me? I don't know if I'm going to do the split screen here, if I should just do this screen right here. Maybe I'll do this screen just for the unboxing. This, and man, that's really kind of blowing out there, isn't it? Well, I got to adjust my camera just a tad. Hold on a second. Just going to adjust this a little tad. There we go. I think that's going to work. And I think... Where's my remote? Let me do a little adjustments here. No. White balance. I don't know if that's working or not. I don't know if I like that white balance or not. Let's see. Lock, aperture, and then... Okay, I think that will work. I think it's good. Let me make this window just a tad bit bigger. Come on. Yeah, I think it's good. I think that'll work. And I can back out just a tad. That's good. All right. All right. Thanks, Troy, for the hear you loud and queer. Yeah, hear you loud and clear. Yeah, enunciate that. So I got this package. And it's from... Oh, I hear the dogs barking. Oh, great. Here they go. Oh, the UPS guy just showed up. Great. The dogs are going to go nuts. Oh, man, that's really slow in the response. I don't know why that is. Committed Paintball. Let's go back out to here. Oop. Let's zoom in just a little bit. Set that up there. And I have not opened it yet. So this is completely sealed. all sealed up. This is the tape that I think they put on it. It says, check seal before opening. So I am going to get my trusty knife, and I'm going to, it's like, to jab into it. No, it's a really sharp knife. Well, I think it is. Take this edge. Well, I'm probably cutting the box on the inside, but hey, that happens. Oh, I'm not. I'm not cutting the box on the inside. Here, if I just cut the edge there, we'll be able to get this thing open and pull this box out. And this, really? No sticker? No, just kidding. Get that out. I have the F6 Twister number 9. That's kind of cool. It's a low number. Thank you, Anthony. Let me go. Thank you, Anthony from Committed Paintball and all the Committed Paintball folks that make this happen. Mozak Machine for being the machinist that put this, the final machine and getting these things done. I really appreciate all the hard work that these folks did on these things. I haven't looked at it. I'm going to give a review. I'm going to give an honest opinion. And now you got to understand that there is nothing that's perfect except me in this world. I'm kidding. I'm not perfect. No, I'm just a flawed individual. So I'm going to give my opinion, but I've talked to a lot of other people that have theirs already. Mine got in the UPS system or USPS system. It kind of got shifted around in the Bay Area. So it finally got to me. And it is, look at this, factory sealed. Can't open it. So yeah, that's the end of this review. I'm done. No, just kidding. Let's see. Oh, and I'm going to go back to this-y thing. Let's see. Can I look at... No, where is... that the comments? No, maybe I need to go back to here and go back to comments. Okay, so I'm just checking my... I guess I could look here too for comments. Hold on. Let's see if I can... Come on. Well, I go back to the live thing. Okay, that should be good. Hey, Fidel. Yeah, mine came today, Fidel, and I don't know for you. I know where you are, and mine rattled around in the Bay Area in San Rafael. I think it was in San Rafael. I have to look at the UPS thing. I think, for whatever reason, some hub down there rattled around in. So definitely got it. So hopefully you get yours today on that. But let's go through it. Nice packaging, by the way. This is nice, actually thick cardboard. It's not cheap. They actually did really nice work on the packaging. But let's get this guy flipped out here. Let's slice through. I'm not going to tear this. Slice through. Just be nice on that. And let's open this up a little bit. We have a nice card here. And this is stuff you've probably already seen. It has QR codes for things. I think I know one of the. I think I know what the QR code is for. Let me just actually see on my phone what it gets me to if I do the QR code. Okay, it takes me to twisterpaintball.com. Oh, start. That's good times. Recycled. That's kind of a cool, neat little thing. That's a little neat little thing they have. I'm not gonna. This is kind of like a surprise thing. It kind of takes you to an interesting website. So it's got that. I thought it had another QR code in here. Maybe it's on the box. Let's look at the box. Box had a QR code too. Let's go back to the box. Let's take the plastic out. The data. Yeah, this is the one I want. Okay. Yes. So this one takes you to a Google Docs thing, and I'm going to bring that up on the screen because I do have that available. But we'll do that in a second. Okay. So let's get this thing back open again. Have the card. I'm going to set it off to the side so I'll completely lose it. Let's just pull everything out of the box. Nice padded. You can actually probably, when you get your gun built, maybe fit in the box. When it's built, let me see. Could it potentially fit in the box? It could fit. Yeah. it can fit in the box with an angle. Yeah. So it's a nice box that you'll actually have to fit it in there. Hey, Bill Paddock, how's it going? I'm streaming on both Facebook and YouTube. So if you want to go to YouTube, you can also. I can actually I can highlight like the posts here, like from Jake from Bearder Works is in, and he's watching, and stuff like that. But let's little stuff out here, and I'm going to zoom in a little bit. Zoom into this level. I think my light's good enough. So I get the auto white balance to. That's a little bit better. I don't know. I don't know if that's good enough or not. I may even zoom in closer. Let's open up the frame first. And these are all raw parts. All need to go off to be either bead blasted and polished and anodized, powder coated if you're weird, you know, stuff like that. I'm gonna look. I'm just gonna go through everything. Look at the machining. It looks like they have been tumbled, a light tumble. There's definitely some sanding that you'll probably have to do on this back. You'll see, and I'm going to try to zoom in here. It's always tough with this camera, so I bring it up like this. It's not going to want it. It may. You guys can kind of see. I need to put a light up higher. My light is all down low here, so I'm sorry about that. But it has some light sanding, but this is pretty typical on raw parts. You know, it depends on, I mean, it's pretty typical. There'll be some light sanding, but I have some nice curves on things. This, you know, Mozak frames, he's done a good job of a frame that feels good in the hand. And you can kind of see, I'm 6'2", so I have some fairly decent sized hands, and you can kind of see, you know, how far this is going to be down here. Am I going to be smashing into it? And I don't think so. It is drilled on the bottom has two screws, two locations for mounting a different ASA. Like if you want to, and you don't want to use a T-slot, which is pretty rare, is Canadian Custom Cockers Charles from Canadian Custom Cockers up in Canada has a T-slot adapter thing that drops everything down, I think. Yes, it drops everything down. And then I thought someone was making a T-slot block-off plate. I have one of Charles around here. If I get up and go look, I think I know where it's at. Let me go do that. Hold on 5 seconds. Let me go get one of Charles' things real quick. Be right back. All right, well, coming back, I'm a big fat liar. I can't find it. I have them set down somewhere. Oh, yeah, let's do this. Let's go and... How about this? Oh, yeah, how about this? Let's just, let's just screw things together. So get an idea what that looks like. This is the AKA. It's interesting. I'm wondering, it is, if I was doing this and it's going off the anodizing, I would send your top of your, and maybe Jared from AKA may be making these. So hold on, let me see. I'm just checking on. And there's William right there. William, Bill. I would see, I probably should get a lighter background too on here, because this is a problem. The problem with the dark background. Let's lighten it up. There we go. How about them apples? Bend over like that. Yeah, that's good. It's got a little bit of a ridge right here, and I would actually, if I'm sending this off for ano, I would take this and taper it in a little bit so it has a smooth transition. So the AK is a little larger diameter than what's here, and it's only because of that milling. Be interesting to see if you could. It would be really tough to follow that milling. But the milling, like the milling on the Killshot Custom swivel, is almost identical in the kind of patternish look to it. So it's got a good look to it on that aspect. So that will look really nice. So this is with a Sidewinder. This is with the grippy one. If you were to the whatever they call this one. Now here's something that no one else has. At least I don't think they do. I don't know if Azani's making these yet. If you're now, I don't know how many people are gonna put a Inception. They may. Yeah, maybe someone's got an Inception. Good reg. Yeah, depends on how you want to build it. Build it the way you want. These regs work fine. Nothing wrong with them. Come on, screw in there. This is an Inception reg. Wow, well that's weird. Inception reg. This one doesn't want to screw in here. I'm like, I'm gonna go get another, just a generic War Games reg. War Games screws in there fine. Huh, let me grab, that's weird. Let me just grab some different regs here. I would always say fit everything. Fit everything out. I have some more regs right over here. Here's a box of regs. Got a box of regs. I don't know how many people will be putting a Nova reg on there, but let's just see if the Nova one screws in. Nova, no go. This is a Mac Dev. Mac Dev. Actually, that's not a bad looking reg on there. It's not bad looking at all. I kind of like the look of that, the profile. A little different profile. So that screws on there. So I would say test your reg out. Make sure it screws on. If not, okay, here's a newer Inception. Newer Inception. Seems just a little... Man, I just don't want to really force this in raw, so I'm going to... Man, you don't want it to gall up. I'm going to back this out. They're coarse thread, so it's not the... it feels like the tops... You know, I'm going to look at something. I have... Let's see something. Oh, here it is, right here. I have a Mozak. I've got one of these Mozak frames. I just want to look at the... Yeah. Okay, so this is a Mozak frame. The same frame. That screws in. Let's see, does the... This is the... I'm pretty sure... Yeah, this is the Nova. Nova won't fit. These... They're just not cut right. And I really don't see anyone using an over rag. No offense. I'll try a different over rag. I have a couple of them. But I don't know. Well, I don't have another one here. I just don't see anyone using. But let me try this older Inception rag. It screws in fine. Well, this one's, it screws in fine. A little tighter on this guy. Oh man. Let me back off here. So I highly recommend that if, oh wow, that's on there tight. I know what to do. I think I can do this. I can back this guy off. Is this one that's got the hex on the inside? No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. Well, okay, I'll leave that on there. Well, hold on. Hold on a second, folks. There we go. This one's just tight, and it's... Oh, I got food on my shirt. All right. Okay, I'm not going to screw around with this. I can't. I got to get my soft jaws around that. This one just tightened right down on it. This one, so let's try a War Games rag. War Games seems to go on there just fine. Okay. Try another War Games rag. Just want to. This seems to go on there just fine. Okay. I think there's a combination of these threads. It looks, when I look down in here, I don't know if I can bring it up in there, that you can actually. I need light. Hold on. Light. Let there be light. If I can get everything to focus in there. That's not going to work. That light's not going to work. So, anyway. This is the whole point of going through these things, right? It's the whole point of looking at everything. Let's back out a little bit. That rag is in, no, that's in, no, these little parts. This one screw, this was it's basically a War Game, so that's screwed in there. This AKA screw, let me do the AKA again. AKA screws are nice. Really nice. Let me get a CP or a Shock Tech. Shock Tech right here, which should be exactly the same as CP. Let's see how that works. Perfectly fine. Actually, not bad. That doesn't look bad. If you wanted a Shock Tech on it, if you wanted to do something like that, you know, look at different stuff. You need to get just a little bit more light in here. I need to work on my lighting in here. A little bit more lighting. All right, that's there. I have another AKA. Okay, I have some AKA tops. Here's some AKA top. I think that's an AKA top. Let me see. Yeah, that AKA top works. I have several different tops here. Here's another AKA rag. This one screws in fine. So I think it could be that maybe the points. See if I can find this AKA rag that had a. Oh, here it is. No, it's the Inception rag. What did I do with it? Inception with the twister thing. Where did I put it? There's that. What did I do with it? Oh, because it's right here. I can't get it off of this guy. You want to spin this guy off? There it goes. Okay, there, it's a little better grip. I'm just wondering if it's just the points. I couldn't get this guy on. I wonder if it's just the... I bet you, oh, I think I know what it is. I think I could probably, let me go and compare it. Do I have my measuring sticky stick thing here? Do I have that here? Where is it? Thought I had it sitting up here. My measuring stick. My calipers. I don't know, they're around here somewhere. I think if you had one of these older ones like this, it would go on there. I think you need to just take the points down on this. I think it's a little larger diameter, so it's not wanting to go fully on the inside there. Let me see. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's just getting stuck. And I truly believe it's just the tops. I think I could probably take this cap off, just run it over to the lathe, and just take the points off. And I think that'd work fine. So some things you want to check out before everything goes viral, right? Well, let's just see. I kind of wanted to see the angle of where this would be kind of residing. That's actually not bad. I would recommend if you're getting, like if you're putting this guy on here, what size, if you have the straight across, like this is the angled one. And if we have a, I don't have a easy on off or a planet eclipse that's relatively available that I don't have to take off a gun, but it would stick down and that would, it would probably put a little bend right here. So I would probably use, if you're using the angled one, I'd probably use the short top, aka the Inception. That's all you have. It's the only option you have. So anyway, food for thought. What size are rag threads? I don't remember exactly. I have written down somewhere. Someone else can respond to that. So this is William. Oops, William puts up what size are the threads there. Let me refresh. Oh, I'm trying to push the screen here and refresh that. Let's go back over to here. Close that. Okay, so yeah, what size threads I have no idea what it is. Jason or one of those guys can respond to that if they so be pleased on that, or even Mozak. Well, Mozak is he's busy machining stuff, so don't bother him. I don't know. I look it up. Do the old googly thing. Yes, so Inception and AKA, you bring up a good point. I can actually show that. They are the same. So if I take this guy off right here, the only thing that's different is this step right here. So the height in which this step goes to here, or I think even you have to machine a little bit here. But here's this is an AKA, and guess what, folks? It works. I can make a tall AKA or a tall Inception. But the problem with the tall Inception is you have an angled feed neck, and it's really kind of pointless. So, but I imagine if I bought a short top for this from AKA, then that would work. Yeah, I could probably do that. So anyway, that's all food for thought. So, got the frame out. I want to bring up real quick, and this is, let me put, this is Jake, put this up. Yeah. So, and actually, you know what the funny thing is? You want to see something funny? Well, these threads are the same as that's War Games and AKA. You talk about the copying that went down. I mean, people say there's a lot of stuff where it's like, hey, look at this is the threads that work good for them. Why should I go and source some threads out? So anyway, so I have, this is Shawtek's newest version of their slider. So they sold out of all the sliders they've had for the last about year and a half, 2 years, or 3 years. They made another run of them, and I know that like AKA Jared's doing them. You can buy them from Nova Paintball. Their slider's pretty decent. Their plate. But AKA, the one thing about AKA I like is they're going to have one that's a straight hole, just a regular hole, and then one that's slotted. And there's some benefits to both. Depends on what type of system. I think if you're running a more traditional higher pressure system, running a hole one works fine. If you're running a uber low pressure, I would kind of recommend going with the slotted. I want to put a little dwell time between when the gun fires, because low pressure is high volume, so you want to let that volume do its thing, and without moving the bolt back. And then so if you can put that dwell, basically that time that you release the sear, and then you basically you release the sear, fire the market, and then there's time waiting for all that air to go through the system and push the ball out before it starts cycling the ram. Then that buys you a little bit of blowback reduction, blowback up your pipe sometimes. So think about that. So the nice thing is, if you, let's say you bought a shock deck one and it doesn't work in your system, go buy the AK one, or vice versa, you know, whatever, which way. But this, let me go get my calipers anyway. Let me just grab my calipers. Give me a second. Be right back. You know, I swear, I have my calipers, and I go to turn them on, and I get the blinkety, blinkety, blinkety thing, meaning that, hey, battery dead. I don't know where the case is for this. I don't know how to take the battery out of here. Right here. Maybe that's it right there. Yeah, it is. I'll get that guy out. Let me see if I have one of these batteries. Ooh, I may have one of these. Okay, I'll be right back. I want to get this. I think I may have one of these batteries. Jeez Louise. You're talking about epic failures. That's this guy right here, 2 thumbs pointing at me. Got the spare battery that came with it. These are the send you 2 batteries. This one's garbage. I'll just save that off to the side. This can go in here, and this can go in there. Is that the right way? Come on, don't be a dead battery too. Did I put that in right? I think there's one way I could. Oh, I gotta flip it around. I think I put it in backwards. I did. Yes, that. Turn it on. Zero it out. Put in inches. There we go. Okay, I am up and running. Look at that. Just is all cleaned off. There we go. So let's measure the shock tech plate. I like to take a place here in the middle. .261, 262, 262, 262. I think Jason already did this. 27. 271, 270. So what is that? 262. What's it? Are my numbers 262? Oh, excuse me. 1. 162. 162. Where is my calculator? Oh, there it is. Oh, it got stuck down there. 0.162 minus 0.171, right? Whoops. I think that's what it was, 171. I'm going to get the comments here in a second, so... Yeah, 71. Equals point... Gosh darn it. 0.162 minus 0.171 is 0.009 divided by 2 is 0.0045. I don't know, you guys can't see, I got to do it at an angle on either side, whatever that is. I'm not a machinist, so I just, you know, count the numbers. Make sure, yeah. Yeah, close enough for government work. So anyway, oh, while I was here, I just wanted to measure the outside of this guy. This is the, that's 820 to see if it's the, yeah. Oh, wait, no, 820, 806, yeah. The points on these are too tall, I think. So it's these are probably just machined to maybe a higher spec. I don't know. But this plate fits in there good. I want to say that I have probably papers with. Let me see. Let me grab this card that's inside a package for a Inception, and I'm just trying to slide it on one side just for okay, that's too thick, that's too thick. Piece of paper. Oh, I have some paper here. Get a couple pieces of paper. I have my Planet Eclipse E-Blade manual. Let's just see how that works. Definitely one piece of paper. Let's fold it over to two. Let's try to just put two in like this, side by side. Two sheets of paper. This is real world math to me. Two sheets of paper, and it feels like the trigger's sticking. So essentially, it's just a smidge wider than one sheet of paper thickness, standard Xerox copied paper or printer paper with the shock tech. So, all right, let's go. Hey, Ray. Ray, I've been working on your guns, and I'm taking a break. Sorry, I got customer stuff. I've been all over the place. So, let's see. Dog, do you think Inception? Inception, I think you're right, Jake. I think PE2. Not that we're necessarily talking about write-offs, but we are. Okay. And let me go over here to here. I just want to make sure I'm not missing anything in the world of this one. AKA gauges. That's feeler gauges. Yeah, I need some feeler gauges, Ray. Yeah. Wish I had cool cameras and graphics. I know, Jason, it's cool to be me. But look it. All show, no go, right, buddy? I am actually just segueing on your coattails on your video yesterday, which I thought was really good, by the way. That's Jason's comment on Facebook. I can't bring those over yet. I will do that here fairly soon. Let's see. All right, so that's kind of cool. It does have the slotted. I don't know if the screws are included with this. It doesn't look like there's any screws included except with this. I'll dig around. All right, so with that, there's no screws included. I'm going to switch over to this page, and I am going to turn off BritterWorks question here, and I'm going to make this bigger so I can see it. Go on. There we go. Okay, so when you scan the QR code on the front of the box, it's going to bring you to a Google Docs file, this Twister F6 data. And here it talks about required parts for the completion. And they go down HPR, high pressure regulator, ASA, and optional rail if required. So I guess ASA or on off. And rail if required. Barrel, Autococker threads. Unless you got the twister barrel, then you're good to go. Beaver tail. You could probably in this we'll come back to the frame here real quick. I'm gonna come back just to the frame. The frame is looks like 1032, so you could essentially use a shock tech. It's got a little. I don't know if it's threaded. How does that work? I don't get that. Anyway, you can thread it in there, and I think it's threaded on. Yeah, it's threaded on the bottom, so you can put a little set screw there. That's really small. Yeah, interesting to see what will fit there. Let's go back to here. Beaver tail, 1032 threaded. Lower tube, 11/16 valve. Now, I know that Jason mentioned on his video and a follow-up video that the big PP valve that he makes, that is the modded, which I recommend, is the modded version of the die valve, has a, I think, diameter issue. So I don't know if it's smaller or larger. I'm sure he will comment on the Facebook. I can't see the Facebook page right now. If he does, check that out. Let me go back to here. Bring that up. Let's see. BritterWorks. Okay, find section. That's there. Well, I can go look on the Facebook page, see if he says anything in here. Let's refresh this. Sorry. I can see some of the stuff. You guys can see that. Do you have, if we're on the shock tech, may have Fire 2.0, but I do not. Oh, I'm bleeding. Oh, kill myself. Jeez Louise. If there would be a 2.0 body, we would do probably a full body. And right now, just the market is too slow to justify that as of right now. But trust me, if they are going to do another body, you're going to hear it. And I'm probably going to drop a whole bunch of hints. And so I'm not dropping hints right now. Literally not, because there's just too many other raw body kits on the market for right now. It's just not a good time to do raw body kits. People are playing paintball. Back to life. Okay, so let's go back to here. So, yeah, Jason says I need an old school thing. Yeah, I need one that's not digital. Yeah, Jason, I don't know how to read those, buddy. I'm just not good at reading those. I know how to read them. I don't have, when I send machining stuff off, I send it off to the guys that know how to machine. I don't know how to do that. I can design parts. I usually design stuff, and then I have a couple friends of mine review it to make sure that my numbers make sense before I send stuff off to get made. I'm not an expert in that. Let's see. I'm just kind of going through. Okay, so let's go back into this guy, and let's look at this. We have complete set of pneumatics. Yeah, I need that. Grip panels, they're 45, and the frame screws are 832. Someone wants to know. Timing rod and collar assembly, full body length 3-inch. What time? Oh, okay. Timing rod and collar. Okay, so timing rod, which is the collar. So timing rod assembly. It's full body length. Unless you're using an Inception or a die, then I would probably buy the Inception custom rod or thread your own, like what I do. Or if you have a custom builder, I thread my own rods. I have stainless steel rod. I thread them to what I cut them to length. I do those when I need to make my custom ones, and works out fine. Autococker pump arms, standard 8-inch. A lot of ones out there to choose from. Okay, so then they have all aquable screws. So frame, beaver tail locking set screw says 1/8 inch. So it's a set screw. It's an 1/8 inch 10 by 32. So it's a really shorty. It's the smallest 1/8 inch. It's the smallest one you can get from them. So you'll need one of those. Mounting screws for the body. You need quantity 2, 1032 by 1/4 inch button head. That's not going to work. That's incorrect, I think. For the back, yes. For the front with the Atactics, does the Atactics have the screw with it? No. You're going to need a longer screw than that. Actually, we'll get to that. We'll find out what screw length you need for that. Because the 1/4 inch will only work in the back. And the bodies of the body, I'm looking at the body right now. Let's go right here. This one's threaded. This one's not. If it was threaded, then like the standard mosaic bodies, then yes, 2 1/4 inch, because they're encapsulated screws. So we'll have to see which one fits on there. Okay, let me go over here real quick. Let's go like this. Let's go like this. I want to catch up on stuff. Okay, so Gabriel Diaz, thoughts on the new WGP drop? Checking. Hey, Wayne Mills from England. How you doing over there? We're visiting family, I'm sure. Well, let's talk about this. What do I think about the drop? Not that I want to talk about this. I think let's go into just my face shot on that. You know what they say when you scratch your head, you're getting ready to say a lie. That's a bunch of, yeah. That's a whole other venture in my life for the last 30 years. How do I say this? I think timing was not good on the drop. Do I like all the products they dropped? Yeah, I think they're cool. Would I have dropped some of those? No, I wouldn't have. I probably wouldn't have dropped the Oracle. There's a ton out there. I probably wouldn't have dropped the vertebrae. And if I did, I would have made it very minimal. Like, hey, we're going to make this many and that's it. Or none at all. I just don't think that's a popular design. I think there's a lot of people say, oh, I would love to have one of those. But then the people that actually go and buy them are like 0 or 1. And so that doesn't make sense. I like the Black Magic with the flames on the side. I thought that one looked really good. And I liked because it didn't look like the old ones. It had a newer variant to it. And I think that's, to me, caught my eye. So I didn't buy one. I want to go buy one. I'm sure I will. I'm sure there'll be some time to buy some. Or maybe I'll, not. Maybe they won't make them anymore. I don't know. I hope they do. But I think timing is everything, and you come in right behind a big drop of Twister stuff, which takes a lot of money out of the market. But do I think the designs are cool? Yeah, I think they are. I like all those. I just don't like the vertebrae personally. It's not my gun. I just wouldn't buy it ever. But that's me. That's one person out of, millions, right? Or thousands that like Autocockers. I don't know. I like the Black Magic. I've always been partial to those. I would like to have seen an STO drop, although it's kind of tough because there was an STO drop by Meteor, and it's always kind of tough gauging that. I think the Carnivore, I'm not a big Carnivore fan, and just because I don't like the back block setup, I think it's just a failure. It's just a point that is, if it fails, it's a nightmare to fix. And you end up just drilling a hole to the back and running a regular cocking rod. I just don't like that setup. I think it limits you, and you're very specific to parts. Like a little bit more openness. So yeah. So that's where I am on that. I think it was timing, and I think it's summer. Like right now, sales are down. I'm not gonna lie, sales are for niche products are down, and they're down not because of the economy. It's down because people are playing paintball and they're spending every $60 bill they have on cases of paint, or they can't afford to play paintball right now because they're busy with a new job. I don't know. They're the cost of energy. In California, the cost of energy is through the roof, man. I never thought I'd go on a flat plan to balance over the year and pay nearly $500 a month for electricity at my house, but I'm doing it after. And this is, I'm not going to get into that. That's whole. I don't do political stuff on this page. If you want to talk political with me, you can go to my personal page. But anyway, let's go back over here. Back to Twister. That's where we want to be. Whoops. I'm telling you, I got this Yellow Box Extreme, and that's what I'm doing on. This is not a cheap streaming device, and I would not advise it for anyone to spend the money on this thing. It is riddled full of issues, and the company is just slow to respond to do firmware updates. Very frustrating. But anyway, so let's go through. I'm looking. The frame, so we talked about the frame screws. Nylon or brass tip trigger glide screws. I kind of recommend going not with the nylon tipped ones from McMaster-Carr, the green tip. Those I find I have almost like a stickiness, almost like a stiction that sticks. They're not like the old ones that came in the ANS frames. That, in my opinion, those plastic tipped set screws were slippery. They were more like nylon. The ones that are in these McMaster-Carr that are green tipped, to me they're tacky feeling, and I don't like them. I don't know if it's the oil that's affecting them or what. I like brass tip, but you got to take the brass tip, and if you get them, you have to actually kind of pre-wear them. So I put them in an Allen key, and then I'll rub them on some 1,000 grit sandpaper, and just kind of dome them a little bit. The other is dog point screws, set screws. Dog point set screws are what are used in the gunfighter frames, and actually there's even another one from this. In stainless steel, and those you can actually kind of dome the top just by polishing them, and I find that they feel really nice on metal. They actually have a really nice feel to them, polish, and for the reason I kind of like how those feel personally. The third is the steel screws that are, instead of a dog point, they're just a dome top, and you can see them on McMaster-Carr. And then you got to polish them. They're easy to polish. That's what are included with like a kill shot plate. If you buy a kill shot plate for a gunfighter, those screws are nice too. But they're steel, so if you're in a moisture environment like you're near the coast, you're in Florida, maybe not the best choice for you. Where I live, works great. They don't really rust out. And so anyway, so they say two of those that are 832 by 3/16 of an inch long. I'll have to check that out. Grip screws, we talked about 4 832s. Check with your grip panel length. So you may want to do that. Kind of go through these things here. I want to make sure I'm getting everything here, and I can't go check there yet. Well, here, I'm going to go over to Facebook real quick, so you're going to see Facebook. Okay, engages Ray Drake. Do you have insider? Okay, so let me refresh this. I think I've got everyone in here. Jason was in here, but now, oh, there he is. Anyway, let me go over here, refresh this. As it's refreshing, yeah, there we go. Okay. All right, let's go back. We're going to go over to here. Blop, blop, back here. Okay, feed neck. Oh, a gold chamber. Okay, so the gold chamber has one screw included, which is 1/4 by 24 by 3/4 of an inch long, and that's the Vasa screw. That's the screw that goes through the Vasa, and we'll pull these out when we're looking at them. So, for shoots and giggles, and let me scroll down here and see if there's anything more. Scroll downy. Yeah, okay. Feed neck, quantity 2 on the feed neck. Feed neck, quantity 2. 1032 by 1/4 inch. Oh, no, excuse me, front block. Front block. Oh, okay, it's a set screw that goes on the bottom of the front block. We'll see that later when we kind of go through things. Okay, I see. Front block. I see the feed neck's right above there. Okay, so feed neck. I'm just sitting here looking. You guys can see my mouse that's in there. Yeah, feed neck is quantity 2. Okay, so the feed neck does not come with screws. They're 832 by 3/8 headed screws. So these are all things you need to buy on top of your kit. And in the front block, you have a 1032 1/4 inch. That's a set screw that plugs the bottom. It's actually a machining thing that you need to plug. It's a standard plug, like on a and I'll show you guys when we go through that product. Okay, the body is quantity 1, 4x40 detent covers. So you need a 4x40 for one detent cover. And you're going to need a spider detent. Not a spider, a Planet Eclipse detent on that. That's what I understand. So 4x40, they have a master car part number here. I'm kind of curious. I kind of want to run this part number. Let's just see. Why can't I? Really? You guys don't let me cut and paste out of? They do a Google. Okay. If you're doing a Google drops, let me cut and paste out of it. I can't do anything with it. It's all jammed up solid. All right. Sorry, guys. McMaster. McMaster car. Let's go to McMaster car. Let's go to set screws. It's a 440. 440, and it's, what did I say it was? 440 3/16. And you go to 3/16 long. 3/32, 3/16 right there. And do I have an option for a button head on that? It's going to be, oh yeah, I want to look at, it's going to be hex. Okay, hold on. I'll be right back. There's someone at the front door. I need to sign for this package. Right back, folks. That was quick. The package, it's medicine that I can't let sit out in the sun. And my porch sits in the sun. Okay, back to this. Wow. I'm looking at the the part here is I can't really see. Okay, so it is a flat top screw. That's an 82-degree angle. Wow. So you probably want stainless steel. You can buy one of them for $2.07. Quite frankly, I would buy 100 of them for $5.79 and then share them with folks. Here, I'm showing you. I go back to the page here. So I'm sure it's the 82-degree angle, which is the most common. And then you have packages of 50. This is black oxide alloy steel, zinc plated alloy steel. You don't want those. Stainless steel, a package of 100 is $5.79. Stainless steel, a package of 10 is that's probably one you want, $2.82. This is 316 stainless steel. You have a brass one if that fits your motif. You have a stainless steel locking, which is going to be really expensive, $12 or $1 each. So, yeah, interesting. Kind of wish they would have included the screw there. Those are, I get it that you're probably going to send this to a builder, but that's just going to add the cost. I know, like for me, that I got to charge nearly $1 a screw. Just because, yes, you're right. I can buy 50 of them for this. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll make a screw kit for these. So anyway, so that's the stuff you need there. And I think there's some more screws you're going to need. Let me see. Feed neck, front block, that. No, maybe not. Those. If you're going to put a beaver tail, but they should come, or an on-off, they should come with screws. Yeah, maybe not. Okay. So in this spreadsheet, we have another thing. Partners. These are people that are partners in parts. So Inception Design, ShockTech USA, Mozak Machine, Killshot Customs. So Inception would be your general parts, your pneumatic, stuff like that. Same with ShockTech. Mozak Machine is going to be specific to his stuff. Killshot Customs making obviously this guy right here. Then we've got Firebase Products, which I think is, let's see, Firebase. I think, open a new tab, redirect. Okay, yes, I want to go to these. Yes, this is Chris Forschnott, and what does he have? Let's Tech Home Firebase Paintball Store. There we go. Okay, got to that link. So what do we have? Okay, so he has the Stormbreaker Autococker hammers, the slotted ones, twister bolt pins that are, looks like they're laser engraved. Let me bring this bigger. Okay, there we go. Okay, there you go. Laser engraved service. Kind of cool. Delrin bolt pins, aluminum bolt pins, just bolt pin, cocking knobs, different style, F5 twister swivels that have the twister logo laser engraved on it. Cocking knobs, and so let's open these cocking knobs. And let's just kind of zoom into, here's the cocking knobs. That's the back of the cocking knobs. And he says in here, because I did read this earlier, he says that you Loctite it to the length that you need. Then you're done. Because it's probably never going to leave the gun. There's no reason to. And then twister grips. He's doing grips. And it looks like they're made out of aluminum ready for, okay, so these are aluminum grips. I know that ODM, let's see if they're part of the package here. Okay, Tactics, obviously, doing all the twister pneumatics. Free Flow. Does Free Flow have anything? what do they have? Okay, markers, casual, performance, Autococker parts. See what they have. Nothing. Okay, I don't know why they have free flow in there. What they put shipping in there is Bearded Works, or Docfire Paintball, or Angry Anto Paintball. AKA, let's go to AKA's site real quick. Because, you know, those, we all sell stuff too. We're not just service, we do sell things. But that's okay. Probably was done a while ago. Products, regulators. So you want a regulator. Hey, Sidewinder high pressure regulator with minus the swivel. Whoa, you can buy it without the swivel. Like if you bought, really brilliant, if you bought a, whatchamacallit, from a swivel from Killshot Customs. But anyway, let's go back to products. Let's go back into here. Products, come on. There we go. Let's go back to regulators. Oh, he has an Intimidator. Oh, I need to get one of those. Regulator tops. I need to buy one of those from him. 2 liters. I like to see someone do it with a 2 liter. Do it with a 2 liter. So let's see. His high pressure regulators. These are all the same price. Let's go back to one. Let's see what their finger grip raw for $99 each. Finger grip black, $109 each. What's the regular Sidewinder retro? $104 each. SST regulars, are those? They're not back in stock. No, they're not. I think they were. Okay, so let's see what else that he has there. Feed next tornado valves. Hey, look, if you wanted a tornado valve in yours, you can do 11/16. Throw it down here. Tornado valve. Don't know if they fit, but you want to probably. If I have one that's out of the box, I'll test it today, real quick. Now we're kind of chugging along here. I don't want to go through all this stuff, but let's go look at Jared's trigger plates. So that's where it really came to. Autococker Merlin parts, 98 plus trigger plates, 46, and then plus trigger plates, 98 plus, which means it's this style. It's not the older style. And they have one. They're both. They're in stock. They're basically $50 each, and he has with a hole and without a hole. Or with a slaughter hole and not so slaughter hole. What other things does he have here in stuff? I need to get one of these back blocks from him. Oh, his Delrin bolts. We're going to go through different bolts. I know that Jared's already posted some stuff on this. Hardened trigger plates. What's this? 97 and older. These are the older ones. That's the older. 97 older. Good plates, though. Cock and rod. He has those. Bolt pens. Sears you can get. They're non-roller, but quite frankly, they work really good. Tornado valves. Hammer kits. So you can get the whole lower 2 kit, which would be the valve and the hammer kit and the springs from AK also. So let's go back to the Google Drive here. Let's go to Killshot Customs. There we go. Shop. And so, you know, Killshot Customs is the home of the gunfighter trigger plate in Delrin. He's the one that created that. He has his really nice STO back blocks, if you're looking for those. These are for the, if you're putting an AKA JDS, these are the twister knobs. They're $40. There's non-engraved, there's laser engraved, there's AK SM. So if you either have the JDS or the SMC, I'm pretty sure, yeah, the SMC and the Inception will both work on the Inception and SMC. You scroll down, he has the twister knob, no logo. These are for the Shock Tech right here. pretty sure. Twister caulking rod with the install tool. I actually made these for him. These are all 3D printed for him, so you can clamp that in there and tighten it down. And the twister bolt pins, $25. So this stuff, I'm telling you right now, yeah, here we go. Yeah, this is, I need to tell him he needs to put, this is for the Shock Tech or Palmer's. Oh, yes. You want to put a Palmer's. Twister swivels, 45 and straight. If you're going to use the medium, probably the medium top or the tall top will be almost straight across. And I don't think he hasn't done the ones for the Inception. I don't know if he's going to do them or not. He may or may not. But anyway, that is that. I'm not going to go through all the rest. You guys know what Inception show here. Anodizing partners. We got FX Anodizing, ARC, Caustic Customs, Ruckus, Outlaw, Pooty, Blizzard, and Aesthetic Metal Finishings out of Canada. And all good companies to go with. They all do a good job. They all have their style. So go look at their Instagram pages and their web pages and see if like the acid style that they do is your style. If it's not, then I'd probably go to different anodizer. But yeah, pretty cool stuff. I'm going to go back to this page. Let's quickly go through here. Build partners. This is where we come in. Paintball Tech, Tim Furpo from Paintball Tech. Myself, Docfire Paintball, and supplier parts. Angry Paintball. NFG Customs. Greg from NFG Customs. No fucks given. That's what that stands for. Sorry for the foul language, folks. This is not a show for kids. Mark Davis, hand engraving. Hey, if you want to get this stuff hand engraved, like, let's go back to download. You have all this real estate here. This right here, real estate, real estate. He can hand engrave some really cool patterns on here. He could extend this pattern and come up. That'd be really cool. Mark could do that stuff. That's a guy. I may have to send mine off to him to get some engraving done by Mark. But 808 Island Tech, and this is Richard Rollison. Does great builds, by the way. Adventure Games. Alex, I don't know. It's APG, Adventure Games Paintball. I don't know Alex. Canadian Custom Cosker. That's Charles Bird, folks. You find him on the Autococker Gawking group is where he's easy to get a hold of. Sinister Tech. I don't know who this is. And then Cockertop Paintball. Dylan Hollis out of Southern California. All signed in there. There's a lot of other builders out there, folks. These are folks that I think they reached out to. I know Peanut Auto Works does good work, really good work. So he does really good stuff. There's other techs out there. These are not the only people that can build these. But yeah, just do your homework on that. Let's go down. Let's go to the next tab, which is Twister specific Autococker parts. They basically the RAM attacks housing, so you can get a Twister specific RAM housing. Bolt pins. It talks about Killshot Customs. Caulking rods. Grip panels, ODM grip panels. That's the other one. And he doesn't have a website that I know of. I think he's strictly Instagram. I think it's where he does a lot of stuff. Grip panels, HP, WT. That's Chris. Contract Killers, CK. Chris Crisino does really nice. And I like the wooden grip panels. I think it makes something that is essentially kind of a hard look softer. I'm probably going to reach out to him online. But okay, then they have Twister Build-Off 2025. Contest entry details as follow. Entry form. So this is not filled out. So I'm sure when this goes live, they're going to have some sort of a thing. And so let me try to catch up with stuff here. Let me go like this. Let me go to comments. Let's see if I miss anything here. Go over to comments on this guy. Beep bop, beep bop. Let's see. Scroll down. Facebook. All right. So moving on. let's go to, I'm going to go back down the top view just like that. That's done. Let's start opening up stuff, folks. Let's go through. I know, I'm sorry, I take forever to do these things. I'm not really fast at any of this stuff. Back block, feed neck. Actually, a nice feed neck. I feel like that. Front block. And then let's get the body open. I know not everyone has time to listen to me ramble on for hours. Don't lose this. Set that off to the side. Feed neck's nice, really clean, machined. More kind of curious on this. Is, I know these are huge. This is the these are these speedsters. They are huge. Actually, a speedster fits. It's kind of nice, but they're huge. Do I have my? I don't know. Oh yeah, it's right here. Yeah. Let's look at a die. If you guys aren't going to do like an Inception, ooh, die is really fat in that. Yeah, that's really tight on a die. So pretty. This is a die. It fits, just tight. Really tight. So a lot of people may probably do an Inception or something like that. This is the Empire spec. The front block, when we talked about the small set screw, the 3/32 or 10 by 32 quarter inch, that goes in right here, and that's will probably be, I would do stainless steel, flush, Loctited, stuff like that. One thing I do want to do while I'm here, hold on a second, let me grab, I got one right here. Hold your horses. Whoa, shit. Oh, shit went sideways. Shit almost went sideways. There we go. This is my demo. This is my demo shock tech. I don't want to pull a new customer one out of the bag. I always like testing threads. You know what? Grab just this one right here. This is a different shock tech. That one had goobers on the threads. Yeah. This ain't gonna work. There's no threads in here. Very little threads. I don't know if I can get that up in there. See if I can get some light. Oops, hold on. This may be a return to Mozak. I can't really. Oh wait, do I have this zoomed in? I probably can zoom in a little bit more. Can I zoom in more? No, I can't. Let's see if I can go right here. All right. There's threads in there, but let me get a tool. Yeah, they're just not cut. They're cut, but it's like the machine went down but didn't finish. Let me just find another three-way. Hold on a second. Another three-way. Another reliable three-way. This is why you inspect stuff. Here's a nice War Games three-way. Man, I don't like threading into raw, but these are things need to be checked. It's got very, very fine threads. Okay, that threaded in, but there's some threading issues here. and try to thread in a shock tech. Man, that's a no-go. That's a no-go. War games are not necessarily more forgiving, but maybe less tolerances. Let me try find another one. Older shock tech. The deal is I have the right thread thing. Yeah, no go. That's not good. So the threads, if your threads look like they're not cut deep enough, because they're not. Mine are definitely not. So that's a problem. Not good. Not good at all. This can go here. So that stuff, that will need to be addressed at some point. I will probably just tap mine because I actually have the right die for it. But that's a problem. So let's go and mark issues so I remind myself. Threads. I like marking things up so I can see it. So I just know that that's a problem. All right. Not the end of the world. That's stuff I can take care of. But if you don't have a competent builder that has the tools to fix those things, you're going to, and you send this off to Anno and you haven't tested that. Okay. I highly recommend, if you're going to dry fit parts, is actually put oil on them, and just you just want to make sure this screws in. As long as it screws in a way, you know that's going to work. Okay. And I go and I get myself a ram. Oops. Got myself a ram in here somewhere, right here. I've always kind of trusted the Shock Tech products. And if you bought a Tactics, you're going to get the Shock Tech makes their backs for them. So make sure that screws in. That screws in nice. I want to make sure it looks square, straight up and down. You can put a machinist square in here to make sure this is straight up and down, so all the holes are machined square. That's nice. Things you just want to check prior to going off the Anno. Okay, so we got the front block. I'm going to take out the banjo. I want to do a couple things. First off, as I know, I have a Shock Tech banjo bolt, which are generally a little fatter. Yes, if you're going to put a Shock Tech, I don't know why you would. You're going to have to machine this down because theirs are just a speck a little bit bigger. If you order one of these from me, then I will pre-machine it for you. And I think Jason does the same thing. Just how Shock Tech spec their banjo bolt stuff. Hey, Tactics, you got a sticker. Cuckoo Machu. Let's look at the Tactics. Nicely machined. Got a little O-ring in there. Let's get this stuff out. The Tactics included O-rings. Thank you, Gant. That's nice. That's good. We're going to put that screw back in here. We're going to set that out for a second. That out for a second. That can go in there. I'm going to look at this guy right here. And I'm going to back up a little bit on this guy. Let's just back up a little bit. Not doing things out of view. All right, so let's make sure the Tactics fits in there. Yes, it does. Tactics has a little bit of a side-to-side play in there. I don't necessarily like that. Interesting. I'm kind of curious to see how that looks with this O-ring. How far that goes down. Yeah, I think that can be tweaked on a little bit. I think we could probably use, I'm more curious, we could probably use, instead of that O-ring, I want this guy to be right here. Instead of that O-ring, we could probably use A 15? Sometimes you can get away with this. Was it 15? Yeah. Oh, we may be able to. Sometimes you can get away with a 15. If you can't get away with it, we may be able to do a 15 on there. It may work. And that's going to sit nice. If you can't get a 15 on, there's a metric that's just a little thicker, which I have. Hold on a second. Right here. Oh, hold on. I'll tell you what it's going to be. Give you the. Well, these are one. That's where's my. Oh, they're up here. Hold on. Right here, baby. Yes. This is the one I want. So let's try to get the most perfect flushy fit we can get. I think it's this guy right here. Oh, nope, it's not that one. Maybe it's this one right here. Oh, it's that one. Oh, I think that would be it. Oh yeah, that's the one. So a 2mm, these are metric. People are going to want to save this video. So this O-ring, put this guy right there. Let's super zoom. This O-ring right here, they include the standard, what, the 113s. Let me show you what the 113s look like. There's no recess in here. And not that that matters, but the 113, you could probably squeeze down on it, but you may be able to get, there's going to be a little gap. I think there's always going to be a little gap right there, a little seam. But if you get a 2mm, you can try like a number 15, right? This is just a number 15, 015. You can feel that it has a little bit of a bubble and would probably seal up. May leak. Maybe a 90 durometer would be even better. This is a 2mm thick by 15mm. I think it's, hold on a second. I'll tell you if it's outside or inside. When you order from the O-ring store, it's a 2x15. Let's put it on millimeter. Yeah, it's an inside diameter. 2 by, I think it is. Yeah. It's a 2mm thick by 15 inside diameter, and 15 times 4 is 19 outside, right? Yes. Right at 19, yeah. So it's a 2, I'm going to keep this with that. This guy can sit off to the side. But with this guy, you can set him into here. And he has just a slight little bulge. And you can see that. Maybe I can bring it up into this camera here. Come on, get up here. There we go. You can see it just is on the outside. So when you put this down on top, you can see it's got a little bit of a seam there. But when you press down on it, you can bring that flat, and it should seal up nice. Yeah, really nice. That's probably what I'm going to use. So I'm going to keep this O-ring on here. A 2x15 inside diameter. Put these other 113s on there to hold things. That is interesting. So then this has that little cap thing. I was more curious about this. I have my Allen keys over here. Oh, well, I do. I think I do. This has unscrewed this guy. Oh, I think I see why they did that. Then this guy would screw in right here to use that O-ring there, and then this guy would screw in right there. So just make sure everything, there's an O-ring in here, so let's pull that out. Make sure everything works, right? You know, just lightly screwed in. Machine nice. This almost feels like that's a metric, but it's not. It's a 7/32. Nice machine part. Tactics does nice job on their machining. So that goes there. This goes back here. Oh, this is broached on the inside. So, yeah, okay, so that works. This O-ring can go right there. Just set in there. We're going to set this guy back in there. Oh, before we do that, I want to do another thing. I want to see something. Oh, hello there, Matthew. Matt's here. Let's see. No, Justin, I'll send you a photo right now. I will send you a photo. I'm not trying to beef on anything, but I can't focus on it. I can't see anything. Come on, get up there. It's hard to explain, but the threads in the front block look like the tool just scratched it. There's no depth to them. It's just like the point hit, and that's all. So I'll send you a photo. I think I can just run my tap into here and clean that up. But hey, Ben Bond. Not that beef. That happens in machining. That's machining world. You know, that's no one's fault. That just happens. But these are things that I think that if you're a customer and you're building this and this happens, is then, you know, you would want to you know, prepare for that to be, you know, okay. I want to make sure how far that, okay, that screws in. Okay. All I want to do is see how far this screwed in. I want to make sure that I have plenty of threads where the banjo bolt doesn't bottom out on this guy, and it doesn't. And it screws in fine. So that's fine. But not beefing on anyone. I commend you on your ability to, I bet against you on these things, and I lost that bet. That I didn't think we'd see this until December. I just really didn't think you'd get them done. And I'm actually very thankful, and I think you kicked ass. So, awesome job. Because this is, building autocockers is no easy fate. Or machining them. It's a tough work. And there's a lot of things. You could, one op screws up, and you're all into that multiple ops, you're kind of boogered. You maybe, can I repair this or can I not repair this? And I think this can be repaired. I think just the threads need to be cut a little deeper. But that's why we check. And it's important that customers do check. That's okay. You know Matthew, you know my shit's long. So I want to go back to here. Here. Let's see. Yeah, Dan Vazani says just needs a sharp point to sand it down. Man, it's just mine is. I mean, there's no point in this. Like if I look at find another front block. Hold on a second. There's front block right here. Front block right here. Oh, whoa. If I look at this front block and I compare the threads in it, these threads I can see almost the points on it. If I take the same one, no issues. But I agree with you. I just think that your tolerances were maybe a little tighter. I don't know. But not beefing, that's not my thing here. I'm appreciative of stuff, so Let's see what I like there. So let's go. Next thing, I got the body here. I want to look at, slide everything here. I want to see there. Here's a fat rat. We're going to see if we can get a fat rat down the hole. Now, I recommend coming in. No. Oh, wait. Yes. Oh, man, these are... Oh, there it goes. Yeah, it had a little burr in there. Okay, so here's... That fat rat fits. This is a non-anodized one, so let me go grab an actual, what you would get from the company. Put a fat rat down in there. Oh, I'd have one right here. Right over here. Over here. Over there. No, I get it, Dustin. I'm not beefing you, but if you were a customer that bought this and you thought you're like, man, I can build this myself, which there's a lot of people are going to do that, and then you send it off and get custom parts, anodized to match, and if they didn't test that before and at least alleviate the problem and get things fitted up, then yes, on one side, yeah, they should have tested that before. Okay, this one's anodized. I took the O-rings off. But anyway, you'd be pretty pissed when you got that product back. It wouldn't be the end of the world, because I would say just tap the anodized part. You're never going to see that. And it's a fix, but it's one of those things that I think as an end user, you're going to want to make sure it is right. And a lot of people don't realize, oh yeah, that's tight. Oh, I put that O-ring in there. I slipped that in there, and now there we go. Okay, so one thing, big compliment to Dustin. His lower tube specs are on the, like if you had a new mech body and you're trying to put any 11/16 valve in them, they were 0.70 lower tube. He actually states it on his site. Newegg does, and these are 0.69, which is, and then this guy should be 0.685. So, and then if I just go to the O-ring, yeah, the O-ring, just touching the O-ring on the outside, if I just touch it, 0.699. So you have, so this it's like almost a perfect fit. You're really gonna have to lube your O-rings up, and you're gonna want to use the 70 durometer on a fat rat for sure when you put it in, if you use a fat rat. So info for the people that are going to use that stuff. I am going to use a fat rat. I know how they work. They're predictable. And I don't want to be taking stuff out all the time. That's my viewpoint. I get to have it. So let's go over to this overview. I can see you guys. Hope you can see me. All right, let me go scroll there. Yes, okay, so the other thing we want to check is bolts. And did I bring it in here with me? Gosh darn it. Let me grab one. This one right here. Oh God, don't fall down, please. Sneak out without falling down. All right. Got this really nice SFL. I did the lasering on this. I do lasering also, so if you guys want any laser work, deep fiber laser engraving, I do all that. So if you want the Twister logo put on there, I can do that for you. Okay. Bolt. This is a ShockTech SFL link bolt. We're going to drop that in here. Drop the pin in. So with the O-ring on the back, which is pretty standard on these SFLs, it fits perfectly. We're going to slide this in. Just looking. I would, when I'm polishing, I'm going to polish this bottom part right here. I'm going to hit this sucker a lot. I may even run my sandpaper down here, and I'm going to try to bring this shelf up a little bit. And all that does is that just, and I'm probably going to hit the polish here a lot. And I'm going to kind of just, I'm going to try to round those corners. Now, Dustin does, and Dustin, let me know if this is true or not. What are the two holes on the back? Is that to put in a bumper? Like a piece of nylon rod that can be glued in, that just can be filed just so it's about a 64th of an inch or something like that, a couple thousand sticking up, or half that, whatever. I don't know the thousands thing. But is that to allow that to have as a bumper to stop against? Just more curious. Or is that for maybe just holding with this? Is that for holding? Because there's some down here, some pins down here. I don't know what those are for. They may be for your jigs. I don't know. But I've always thought that it'd be kind of cool to put in some like a bumper material, like a urethane, like it cut some urethanes and just put it in there, and just when this came in and collapsed down, it had a bumper to stop against. It's like you had it where it just stopped and created just the gap for you. The nice thing about that is then you wouldn't have to have your ram clamping out at the end of the ram. If you have like a ShockTech ram, which is 1.8" throw, you can actually have that bumper up against there. I wonder if that's what it is. Dustin, if you're still here, or Justin, let me know. Okay. This is the all tailing. Okay, so the ShockTech, when I don't know if you guys can see that. If I can, I'm going to bring this up into the thing here. You guys should be able to see this. Okay. Try to get in focus here. So this is the ShockTech bolt. So it's not an Evo, it's an Evo link, but the ShockTech bolt is moving forward about 1/8 of an inch further. And let me look in here. Oh, what's just that? It's okay, that's interesting. I want to see something. So, Dustin, let me know also, how much gap did you include when gapping the back block? Did you include gap within your programming? And if so, how much? And I'm thinking you did on that. I'm thinking you did. Just by kind of looking at that. Because when I gap it in the back, the ShockTech bolts are generally, now granted, it's not made for ShockTech. Where'd my gun go? I just want to see when I put it in this guy. Pull the bolt off. Just want to see. I can't remember how far the bolt protrudes forward in here. Okay, interesting. No, it's literally. Huh. All right. That's interesting. I'll have to figure that one out. I think it's. I think these. Jason talked about the bolts, ShockTech bolts having to be modified. Not the end of the world. So I just want to check something here real quick, because this is something I always do. Am I in inches? Yeah, inches. I want to see how far down the shelf is. 1.234, which is great. 1.25 is kind of the standard. Anything greater than that, the problem you get into is, let me show you. Let me just get a barrel here. There's a barrel. This one will work. No. Yeah, we'll just take this one off. The problem you get into with that, if you make that depth too far down, is the barrel will not see. I can't use this barrel because it got a damn O-ring in it. This one's got an O-ring too, but I can take it off. So if I look at a barrel that has a shelf on it, and if I measure this shelf down, this is right at, this one's right at 1232, and when you screw in, you kind of want the back of the barrel to butt up against the inside of the body. You don't want the butt here first. And like this one, this is not the barrel. This is a cheap barrel. I don't want to use this barrel. I want to use a legit barrel. Hold on a second. I got a legit barrel around here somewhere. Got a whole bunch of them. A whole bunch of too legit to quit. Okay, this is, nope. Where's my barrels that I can use? Okay. No. Gosh darn it. I think I would have a barrel. Here we go. Okay. There's a War Games product. Okay. The gold standard dimensioning, right? Or somewhat the gold standard. So let's go and measure down. 1.249, 1.25. And the idea is you want this end right here to butt in against the shelf down on the inside. And the reasoning for that, yeah, this is actually perfect. Good on Mozak on that. On a barrel that's actually machined correctly, that has a shelf. There's a little bit of a gap here, which is fine. But what I found out, if you break paint inside, like if you break a paint where you chop a ball, and if this back is not completely flush, then paint, and you'll know when you pull your barrel and you have paint all the way around here and up into the threads, because you have blown paint, because there's a seam there, you've blown paint up and around it. And then I think you potentially can lose a little bit of velocity. I think there's some inconsistencies with that. You have a little step. By doing it this way, you reduce that risk. The barrel seats on this side, creates a nice seal. Great job. So I'm looking down to see. Man, great machining. Really good, really concentric. Very nice job. So no response. Let me refresh this page. I don't know if Dover's responded to that or not yet. No, he hasn't responded. Not try to piss anyone off. That's the last thing to do. But some people get, feelings. But I've noticed that on some that they have that, and you'll have issues. I remember I was talking to Danny that they had some bodies that were machined too deep, and he had to go in there and press fit in a piece of stainless steel that was he had to custom fit every gun to it, and he wanted to junk the bodies. And the problem is they had velocity inconsistencies on it. So he actually was nice. Why are these guns not shooting right? So anyway, so that's nice. The bolt thing I'll have to figure out. I'm kind of curious to see there's any other bolts. I know I have more STO bolts around here somewhere. I just don't have any that are right here. So, but you're going to want to check that. And I'm a firm believer of doing the old check right here. I know that AK Jared is going to be making bolts that are specifically to this, or has ones that fit really good with this. The reason you do the flashlight check, flashlight goes down the tube. You don't have any guts in here. You can kind of say, like, if I have this where this port opening right here is flush with the back of this side, let's set that to that position right there. That's the gap I'd have to run. Okay, so if I cut that in half, that would be reasonable. Now, there's a couple things. Yeah, that's probably about cut in half right there. You guys see that gap. And that, to me, seems like what they wanted to do. I don't know. So, yeah. Interesting. Number 9. Or number 600. It just depends which way you look at it. Yeah. But we will work through those little issues. I think Jason has a fix. I think he's machining this back and machining those parts back, because you can't, on these shock take bolts, you can't just depin them and then pull out the centerpiece and then machine off on one side 1/8 of an inch, because then you'd have to re-drill these center pin holes, and they would not line. You would be right next to the hole. It wouldn't work that well. You would probably just have to make a hole center, which is probably not gonna. Jason may do that stuff. I don't know. I gotta decide what bolt I'm gonna run in it. Maybe I'll make my own centers. I don't know. Yeah. Just kind of looking at stuff here. Kind of wish there was a little bit more meat on here. I know they said they added more meat, but it just if you're getting these, make sure that you Loctite your pump arm to the back. Okay. Lightly thread these in. Make sure your pump arm goes all the way back, flush, or even past a little bit. Threads feel nice. Yeah. This is a War Games pump arm. Fits in there nice. Yeah. Anyway. How am I doing? Man, I've been on for a while. So, let me see this. What other parts we have? The Atatic stuff. This is the... I kind of want to chew through this. Sorry, guys. They have it laser engraved. Let's go up to this guy with the twister logo on. These are raw parts. These are stuff you'd send off. Nicely done. You can see that when you poke it in the body. You guys probably all seen that. Those fit nice in there. Pre-fit everything. This is the spring perch. It goes in the body. I always like to make sure it slides all the way through. It does. Spring perch. Nicely machined. I think they're getting theirs machined for Meteor, that Meteor shop, Taiwan. I think that's where Atatics is getting their stuff machined. I think it is. I want to grab something here. Where are they? They're there. Let's go back to super top down. These are roller sears. These are the Nova roller series. And I just want to see how they fit in the frame. Yep, the Nova ones fit. I mean, they're pretty close. Let's see how thick the Nova ones are. 165. So a little bit thicker than the plate here, but should work just fine. One thing that they're going to want to include in that spreadsheet is the 1/8 inch dowel pin that goes through. And I think those are, let me grab one here. I'll get you the length. Get them right here. I need to order some more. Yep, that fits in there perfectly. I'm just going to leave that in there because it's got to go with this body anyway. 1/8 inch, that fits all the way through. Let's poke it all the way through now. Let's see, how long are these guys? These guys are, they're 0.125, and they are 3/4 of an inch long, 0.75. Let's just pop that in there. Just let it be. Let it be. Yeah. Now the other thing is going to be an issue. Let me grab some of these guys. Oh, where are they? Springs right there. Springs. I'm grabbing the ShockTech springs because I have tons of these kits. Let's look at, that fits in there fine. So the ShockTech sear spring fits in there fine. Jason just did a video on this. The Meteors have the same issue. You need to have a smaller spring for here.
UBC?
Yeah. What's that? Oh yeah, okay, I'll go get it. I'll be done here in a minute.
On these 14.
What time do you need a meter at?
30.
Okay. Can you message her saying you're running a little late?
By what time?
4:40. All right, so, and probably the reason is it's getting a tool to go down and drill in there. So just think about, check your springs, find one that fits there. This isn't a pre-ano thing. It's not that big of a deal. Other things I like, he relieved the hole around the timing rod hole. I really like that. It has a auto trigger hole slash, would be a safety hole, but your safety doesn't have the detent, so I don't know how that works. Auto trigger. If you were to make a pump gun out of it, then that would be your auto trigger hole. But yeah, I'm trying to see if there's anything else. Did a real nice job of Jason talked about all the deburring, so I don't need to go through all that stuff. So nice work by Mozak. Very nice work. Not that we're being hypercritical, but we're talker weirdos. We're always hypercritical. So no, I don't think Matthew talks about, will the ano take up the tolerance? I think this is at 351. This is a while ago. It shouldn't. Will the fat rod get stuck at that point? No, probably not. I think you're fine. If you're really worried, I run flex hones down my stuff. I have a flex hone that I'll flex on. It takes a deburrs it. If there's any burrs in there that you can't get to. I don't know if this was flex honed or not. Probably not. It could have been. They probably ran a reamer down. I'm assuming they did. They reamed it out. I can run a reamer down them if I need to. I don't have a problem with doing that on these things, but I don't think it will be a problem. Let me see. Do I have an AKA? Let me see if I have an AKA. I do. Alright, I got an AKA valve. Let me just see how the AK, if it slips through real quick. And I got to get going here pretty soon, so I have to go pick stuff up for the wife. Pull off the O-rings. Let's see what the AK. Zero that out. 687. This is actually a little bit looser. Oh no, the AK is tight. Tight, tight, tight. Come on, push out. AK seems a little tighter going in there. You're going to want to pre-fit your stuff. You don't want the AK valve will fit. Let me see if an Inception valve will fit. Okay. Inception valves. Let's go from the front. Inception valve is a little bit looser than the AK that I have. 688. What did I say what did I say this was? 686. I would say you want something on the lines of below 688. 686 will probably be it. Check this AK valve, or this little older one. 688. Yeah. Whoa. I don't know. Not this. I mean, this is the Inception valve. I don't know if I don't have a dialysis valve in front of me. I'll post up on if that fits. But hey, John, how's it going? John, I'm getting ready to leave. I recommend watching if you want to spend 2 hours of your life and learning some stuff. But the Fat Rat confirmed fit. Okay. But outside of that, guys, that's what I have for today. Thanks for showing up. Hit that like and subscribe. I appreciate it. You guys have a great afternoon, evening. And I'm going to hit the kill the live button.